Hello and welcome back. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I've got no idea what the weather was like because I'm filming this before the weekend has started. So whatever the weather was like, I hope you managed to get outside and get a bit of fresh air at some point. So lots of you really enjoyed the poetry last week. This week we're going to be doing it completely different. The first thing in the video, you may have already done it, the link called Saw. I really enjoyed this film. I hope you do too. I think it's a short film that's won lots of awards for its animation. So watch the film, and then you also need to do the grammar task for today, which is all about speech. Now, we've done speech lots of times in school, so it's hopefully just a bit of revision. Have a look at the checklist on the website, which reminds you how to use speech punctuation and how to make your dialogue writing really good. Don't forget, dialogue just means speech between two characters. And there's also a BBC bite-sized video to watch for the grammar today, which is a little bit cheesy, to be honest with you. It's with Mr. Smith, and he is doing a kind of a rap all about speech punctuation. So it's not meant to be a serious video. Have a bit of a laugh at it, but also it does remind you quite a lot about how to write good dialogue and how to use speech punctuation correctly. So watch that, have a go at the grammar task. Then, today's task, there are 3 different parts of the film. I'd like you to choose one of them. Those are listed on the daily work plan, but there's also a prompt sheet to help you on the website with little still photos from the film so that you can remember what happens in each part. So choose one of those parts, 1, 2 or 3. You only have to choose one. And you are going to write the audio, the dialogue, the sound, if you like, for that part of the film. Because obviously in the film there's just music, a bit like Alma. There's no speech, there's no talking. So you're going to provide the dialogue. So once you've chosen the part of the film you're going to write the dialogue for, have a look at the prompt sheet to help you. Use the checklist to help you. There's also a said is dead mat, like we've used before, to give you lots of different ideas for verbs you can use to report speech instead of always using said. So I'm going to have a quick go now. I'm going to focus on the first part of the film, and the first bit is when sorry, I'm hesitating because my screen has frozen in the background with me scratching my nose, so it's putting me off a bit because out the corner of my eye I could see me doing that, which, as you can imagine, is a little bit off-putting. So at the top of my piece of dialogue for today's part of the film that I've chosen, I've started with whoomph, with 2 exclamation marks, because for me that's the noise that the bag and the aeroplane might make when they land on the table in front of Mara, which is the name of the girl. Apparently she's 13 years old and her name is Mara. And the name of the navigator, the little man in the flying machine, is Lucas, apparently. So, whoomph. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Mara thinking something. And you know what? When we use speech, when we put speech into our writing, it can also sometimes be thought. But I did have to think quite hard about whether or not I needed to use inverted commas then or not. And I was thinking, when I've read what people are thinking in stories or in books, sometimes there's no inverted commas at all. Well, I think generally there's no inverted commas at all, sorry. But sometimes there's just one little sort of apostrophe-like thing, you know, one at the beginning and one at the end of the thought. And sometimes there's nothing. So I was going to go with nothing to show that this is thought and not speech. So I'm just going to pause for a minute so I can write down, my phone going off in the background, so I can write down my first sentence.